Hi everyone. In this webinar, let's have a look at the finance module of Fedena. We can find the finance module under administration. So under finance module, the first thing that we're going to see about is the fees. Here we will see how to create a fee structure, how to schedule them, and how to collect the fee from the students. So here we can go for create fee option. Under create fee, the first thing that we have is the creation of master category. So we're going to create a master category for our fee structure by giving a name and a description. Let me give a name here. And I'm going to give a description. And for this description, let's say I've given a description and the batches that for which the fee structure is going to be assigned is the one that I'm going to select here. Below you're going to find all the batches that is available in the institution, out of which the number of batches that you want to assign for this master category needs to be selected. Let's say I'm selecting all the categories and I'm going to save it. Now the master category is created. Under this master category, you can create various particulars. Particulars are nothing but each divisions of the fee payment. So you're going to go for particular and give the name for each of these particulars. Let's say admission fee is one of the particular. This admission fee is going to fall under the master category, the one that I created recently. But selecting the category here, default, you will find all the batches that is assigned to this category below. And of all the categories here, for all the batches here, you're going to select the batch for which this admission fee is assigned. So there might be 3 or 4 batches for which admission fee can be given and the rest might not be having admission fee. So this way around you can select the batches, and let's assume I'm going to select all the batch by giving a description for the particular that I created. I can use this particular for all the students, or I can use this particular for a specific set of students by going for admission number. By going for admission number, I can enter the admission numbers here separated by comma, or I can go for student category and I can select one of the student categories. So that means the students who fall under this category from these batches will be having this particular. Right now I'm going for all and I'm going to enter the amount. That means the amount that needs to be paid as admission fee will be considered here, and I'm going to create it. So I've created one of the particulars. Again, I'm going to create various other particulars. And I'm going to select the category. I'm selecting the batches and I'm selecting the group for whom this particular collection is going to be for and the amount. Let's say I'm giving an amount here and I'm creating once again. Again, I'm going to create one of those other particulars and under the same category with an amount. And I've created. So now let me go back to create fees and let me have a look at the particulars that I've created. So for this particular batch, there's this fee collection that I created, term 2, and you can see the particulars and you can see the amount for each of these particulars. So now going back to the create fees, the particulars is completed. The next step that we have is the discounts. We can create discounts for this fee collections. To creating these discounts, you're going to select the type of discount that you want to create. You can create batch-wise discount, you can create student-wise discount, or you can create student category-wise discount. So if you're going to collect the discount based on if you're going to create a discount based on the batches, it's going to apply for the students in the batch. If you're going to create a discount for the student category, it's going to be for the set of students who belong to that category. And if it's going to be for the students, that means it's going to be for the specific set of students. So let me go for the batches, for example. You're going to give a name for your discount. And you're going to select a fee category for which this discount is applicable. The term 2 fee is the one that I'm going to select. And the next step that Fedena is asking me to do is that if this discount is to be applied for batches of this category or particulars of this category. Batches of this category are displayed here. I can choose this and I can choose all the batches or specific set of batches. If I'm going for particulars of this category, each of these particulars is assigned for each of the batches. So I can specifically select this discount to be applicable on few of these particulars of these batches, or I can go it the other way around. So I'm doing all the batches of this category will have this discount. And again, now the question is the discount to be applied in percentage level or the amount. And the percentage level, I can enter the percentage value, let's say 20% of discount, or when it comes to amount, I can enter the value to be 2000 or 3000. So now let's say I'm going to a 20% discount and I'm going to create it. So now the discount is created. So going back, we have done the first three steps, and the final step is creation of fine. So here I can create a fine by giving a name for my fine, or I can use one that is already existing. To create a one that is already existing, I selected one here, and I've seen that the days after due date 1, the fine amount to be collected is 100 is what I've entered. And again, the fine amount can be in terms of percentage or it can be in terms of amount. And days after due date, I'm saying 2 days after due date, the fine amount is different. Again, I'm taking it as an amount. This way, I can create various slabs. I can add slabs and I can create slabs the same way. I'm going to save it. So now the fine slabs are updated. Now this way I have created all these settings. Now I can go back to the fees, and the next one I'm going for is to schedule the fee collection dates. To schedule the fee collection, I can create fee collections. I can select the category. I can give a name for it. And I can select one of the fine. And I'm going to select the start date and the due date. So let's say today is the start date and there is a due date that's for tomorrow, and I can create it. So now the fee collection is created and it's a scheduled job. It will be on queue and it will take some time for the fee collection to be completed. Right. Till it's completed, let's go back to our fee collection and let's see the other option that is available. So under this fee collection, we have various options where we can view the fee collection details. So here under view and manage fee collections, we are going to have a look at the various other options of viewing the fee collection. Here now let's see the details about the collection. So under view, we can select one of the batches, we can view the collection details. So here you can see the various particulars, you can see the amount under each of these collections. By going back to the scheduled fee collection, the next one that we have is manage fee collections. So again here we can choose one of the batch, we can choose one of the collections, and we can see the particulars and discount and associated with that. Moving back to finance, the next thing that we have is the collect the fee. So here is where we have three different options to collect the fee collection from the student. The first thing that we have is fee submission by batch. So this is in terms of the batches. So by selecting a batch, by selecting a fee collection, you get to see all the students available in the batch in the drop down. You can choose one of them, pay for them, and you can take a print receipt from there. So this is how your print summary is going to look like. Now by going back to the fees option, we have another option under collect the fee, which is fee submission for each student, where you can search for a particular student and you can pay the fee. You can go for fee collection wise payment, or you can go for pay all fee. If it's about fee collection, each individual collection can be made to pay. If you go for pay all fee, that's about paying all the fee collection that's possibly there. And the last one that we have is a particular wise fee payment. So here you can search for a particular student and you can pay a particular fee. So let's say I'm going to pay this fee. So when I'm going to pay this fee, I can pay a partial amount. So here let me search for the student, Kate, and by choosing the student, I'm going to opt for a partial payment. And here you can see I have a discount which is 20% of my total amount and it's going to be 2,400. And for this 2,400, I need to remember I'm going to split this 2,400 between these collections, and only then the amount, the total applicable discount will become 0. So let me apply this discount with a name here, and let me say I'm going to apply 2,200 and another discount to be applied here, and I'm giving it 1,200. So the 50% of discount is applied. So now it becomes 0. Now I can opt to pay how much ever I want in any of these fee collections. So I'm going to pay an optimum amount in each of my fee collection. Now, considering this discounted amount that I want to pay, the amount to be paid is calculated here. Now I can choose any of this payment mode. I can give a reference number and a payment detail if required and pay the fee. Now I can take a print receipt of it, and the calculation on the whole what I've shown there is getting displayed here. You can have a look at this. So this is how a partial payment can be done in Fedena. Moving back to the fees, the next thing that we have here is the fee structure. So here under fee structure, you can have a look at the fee structure for any of these students by searching the student name, select one of the fee collection and have a look at the fee collection. So you can take a PDF report to just share it with the student or the parent. Next thing that we have is fee defaulters. So under fee defaulters, the set of students who have not paid the fee can be shown here. So you need to have a fee collection with having a due date that is already over. All you have to do is select a course, select a batch, and select a fee collection date. By doing this, you will find a list of students below who have not paid the fee. The next thing that we have is fee refunds, and under fee refunds, we have various options of refunding the amount that has been already collected. So one thing that we need to make sure is that to create a fee refund rule, that would be the first step. So you need to go for create fee refund rule. You need to attach a fee collection, only then a refund rule can be created. On creating a fee refund rule, you should also make sure that the fee payment has been completed successfully. A partial payment cannot be done for a fee refund to happen. So I'm going to attach one of the fee refunds, and I'm going to enter a refund name, and I'm going to give a refund validity, and the type can be in terms of percentage or amount. So let's say I'm making it in terms of amount. I'm giving a percentage value or an amount value. Now the amount value can be 2000, and I'm going to create this. So now the refund, okay, let me give some other validity and create one. So now I've created the refund rule. Now the next step would be to apply the refund rule. So I can search for a student who has paid the fee, and on selecting the student name, I can select one of the fee collection. I can revert an amount that I want to apply for. So the refund rule is applied here, and you can see the reverted amount, and I can revert the amount here. So now the fee refund is reverted successfully. Moving back to fees, we have the next option as student advised report. So under student advised report, we have three different kinds of report. Under batch wise report, you can have a look at the reports for each of these batches. You can choose one of the batch, and you can search where you get to see various students who belong to the batches and the amount they need to pay and the amount they've paid. You can see the various particulars that is assigned for them and their respective discounts. This will be shown for all the students who belong to the batch, and you can take an export of CSV from there. There are other types of reports as well, which shows fee collection wise report, which is nothing but a collection wise report for each of these batches. So there is various collections. You can choose one of the collection, and you get to see the collection wise report. There you can see the amount to be paid and the amount paid with the detailed explanation about the particulars and the discount. The next type of report that we can find here is the student-wise report. The student-wise report shows the report of a specific student. You can search for a particular student, and you can select the name of the student, where here you get to see the type of the fee collection that is assigned for the student, the amount they need to pay, and the amount they have paid. So here the student has paid the amount, and you can see the date on which they have paid. You can take a PDF report or a CSV report from here. So now let's go back to the finance module. And under fee, we are left out with few other options. So the next option that we have is the fee receipt settings. So we have something called fee receipt setting that describes what the setting that we can do for taking a fee receipt printing. So if you want to make a print of the receipt, you can make some settings in Fedena right now. So the options available here are for printer types, the normal printer, a dot matrix printer, or a thermal printer. And you can choose the print sheet size here, which is going to be A4, A5 landscape, A5 portrait, and you can see a sample of it here. And this is going to be a standard auto-generated version where there's another version of a customized header where you can choose a customized header and you can type in the value that you want to give. So this is going to be your own measurement that you're going to give, and you can have a look at it under the print sample receipt. So with that, you can have a better idea about how the receipt will look like, and on confirmation, you can save the settings. Moving back to fees, the next thing that we have now by going back to the finance. So here under finance, once the fee is completed, let's move to the other options available. So let's begin with the finance report. Under finance report, we have something called transaction report. This transaction report would give us a report of the transaction that has happened in Fedena for a time duration. Let me choose a time duration in Fedena. So here I'm choosing a time duration and I'm going to view the report. Now you can have a look at the Now you can have a look at the report which shows the donations, the student fee and another income. And apart from this, the expenses are displayed below which shows the salary and another expense that I have added. So now by going below, you can see a graphical representation that shows the various expenses and income that the institution has made. You can take a PDF report or a CSV report of this. Apart from which you can select each of these incomes to have a better idea about the net income and the date in which the income was made and the person who have done the income. This is going to be a donation, so it shows the details of the donations. By going back, you can go for the salary and you can go have a look at the salary that is paid for each of these students. Now going back to the transaction report, so this is how the transaction report will look like. And looking into the transaction report, there is various categories. Now the question is, where are these categories derived from? They are derived from these categories option, where you can find there are few categories that is built in Fedena. Apart from which, there are few other categories that you can manually create. These are categories that might not be there in Fedena, but you might need them. So we provide you the option to create your own category by going for create finance category. Here you need to enter the name of the category, the description, and if it's an income, you need to enable this. And if it's not an income, you can uncheck this and save. This way I've created few categories. I've created a category called book for students, and this is going to be income for the institution, so I've enabled the option. Whereas another category that I have created is an expense, so I have not enabled this option. So this way you can create various categories. On creating these categories, you can add transaction to your instance. So the transaction can be expenses or income. So to add expenses, you can go for add expense and you can add an expense here by entering a title for it. Enter an amount here. Select one of these categories and save it. So now the expense is added. The same way you're going to do the income under the transaction option for incomes. You can have a look at your expenses income by going for this option and selecting a time duration, and you can view the expense and income in this time duration. Moving back, we have the donations options where we get to add the donations that is happening in the institution. So we can add donation by going for add donation, where you're going to enter the donor's name. So let me enter the donor's name. a description and an amount. And additional field that I'm going to fill in is the contact number of the donor, and once I've filled in, I can add it. So now I can take a receipt of it and share it with the donor. Now going back to the donation, there is something called additional field. Apart from the fields that is available in case if the admin wants to add few more fields that is not part of the Fedena donation option, you can add such fields by typing the field and selecting the input method. One such field that I've created is the account. One such field that I've created is the contact number, and I've given the input method to be text box. So you can add this text box which is found in the donations, and every time when a donor is added, contact number is also added in case if it's made mandatory. And we can also track all the donation that has happened at time duration by selecting a start time and end time, and you can search. Below you will find the various donations that is happening. So the next thing that we have here is the employee payslip management. So under employee payslip management, we are aware that the employee payslip has been generated under the human resource module, and an employee payslip that has been generated needs to be approved by the finance person. So for the approval, the employee payslip can be viewed here to be approved here. So here you can see the payslip for the month of February, and by selecting it, you get to see the approved and the pending payslip. You can view all the payslip by going for view payslip, and by going for this option, you can see the different employees and their status. You can view each of these payslip, you can approve or reject them. You can take a PDF report of it and go to the next procedure. Now going back to the payslip approval process, the next thing that we have here is the payslips for payroll groups. So we have in specific for a payroll group. So there is a particular payroll group under which we have various employees with different payrolls. We have various employees with different payslips, which is having a different status. So you can view these payslips, you can see each of the status, and you can view the payslip to approve or reject the same payslip. And the next option that we have under employee payslip management is the payslip for employees, which is going to be specific in terms of department. You can select a particular department and you can sort the employee in terms of department. To view the payslip, and once again, it takes you back to the same page where you can approve or reject the payslip. The payslip group is a place where you can add the employees or view the employees to the payslip group. Just like how it is available in the HR module, the finance person also has the privilege to add employees to these payslip groups. And the final thing that we have is a payslip report. You get to see a report of all the payslip that is being generated or approved or rejected. You can have a look at them by going for this option. You can see the total amount of all these. Apart from which, you can also see the total salary and the approved salary amount. You can take a report of all these. And the final thing that we have here is assets and liability. In asset and liability, as it remains the same, it's not going to add any finance report to the finance transaction, whereas it's going to act as a database where you can keep adding about your assets. So you can keep adding the information by going for create, provide a title, add a name for your asset, and provide an amount here and save. So this is going to be viewed here. And you can have a look at your assets and take a PDF report of it. The same thing happens for liability. You can go for liability, create a liability and view the liability right here. It's not going to add anywhere else, but as an institution, the admin can have a look at these data under assets and liability. So that's all about finance module. Thanks for listening.